Deeply moving, a vibrantly entertaining anthem of triumph, declares The New Yorker. Time magazine raves Milk is easily director Gus Van Sant's best film.
This is our lives we're fighting for.
The Wall Street Journal calls Josh Brolin's performance stunning. And the Los Angeles Times says James Franco is excellent.
I want you to know I'm proud of you.
Nominated for 3 Screen Actors Guild Awards, including Best Cast. And now, Milk has received the New York Film Critics Circle Award for Best Picture of the Year.
You've got to give him hope.
Milk, rated R, under 17, not admitted without parent. Now playing, and now on DVD. Burn After Reading, nominated for 2 Golden Globes, including Best Picture. Own Burn After Reading on DVD and Blu-ray high def today.
If you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes, or if you have unfiled returns, boy, are they looking for you. There is a $345 billion IRS tax gap. Cheaters and non-filers. You do the math. Where do you think they're going to get the money? You! That's where they're going to get the money. Now, there's not been a lot of discussion on this, but buried in the depths of the new bill, the IRS now has new authority, new clout to conduct undercover operations. The new law excludes the IRS from most federal laws regarding privacy rights. So forget about keeping any of your transactions hidden or in somebody else's name. They've got your number. They have your Social Security number and your name. It's even tougher now to deal with the IRS. You need the pros, Tax Resolution Services. Call 866-IRS-PROBLEMS, 866-IRS-PROBLEMS, taxresolution.com. Call 866-IRS-PROBLEMS, taxresolution.com.
Do you still have low pressure and rusty brown water coming out of the sinks and showers at your house? Copper repiping will make a noticeable and dramatic difference throughout your home. Hi, I'm Bob Park, owner of Ameriserve. Our guys, not subcontractors or outsourced people, have been copper repiping and only copper repiping for nearly 3 decades. We've got repiping down to a science. Floors and work areas are covered. We show up on time and with great attitudes. What a concept! Ameriserve makes copper repiping a hassle-free experience. Imagine, no more leaking pipes, instead, great pressure at every fixture. And now, with your good credit, don't pay a dime until next year. Call now to get the 20% KGO discount at 800-713-5777. 800-713-5777. That's 800-713-5777. And visit us at theameriserve.com.
Bay Area residents, it's now illegal to burn firewood and fire logs during a winter Spare the Air alert. Please check before you burn at sparetheair.org or call 1-877-4-NO-BURN.
Ronn Owens, KGO. The book is Homeland Insecurity. We've got 2 terrorism experts from the FBI, Dr. Kathleen Puckett and Agent Terry Turchie, both of whom have been involved in all of this. Look, it seems like there are 2 different things here. You've got 30 years of what you call basic ineptitude and wrong decisions, and then you also have that very important post-9/11 era where every party was involved. Everybody said, we got to do something, even if it's more symbolic. Is it now so ingrained in the system that we'll never get out of this?
Well, it is, Ron. Let's take the issue of FISA, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, and all of the criticism on the FBI and the CIA after 9/11 for not putting the dots together. And I almost have come to hate this term, connecting the dots, because it obviously implies hindsight is 20/20, and from Washington, D.C. perspective, that's all these people think about. So if you go back to the origin of FISA and you go back to how all this came about, you have to go back to Watergate and then the Church Committee hearings, Senator Frank Church. Mm-hmm. And extensive rules were put in place as a result of the Senate Committee's hearings on the FBI and the CIA's so-called problems during the Watergate era and some of the illegal techniques that they said were going on. So they had to come up with a way to both have a way for the FBI to do domestic intelligence and collection and law enforcement related to terrorism. And at the same time, they had to make sure that we weren't violating any kind of privacy rights. So they come up with FISA, and they come up with the Attorney General guidelines under Edward Levy, under the Reagan administration, put all this together, and we get Executive Order 12333, which is a good order, came out back during...
This may shock you. I'm not sure about 12333. What is that order?
12333 was essentially the guideline for us to use, and we've used ever since the Reagan days to guide our counterintelligence and counterterrorism, international counterterrorism investigations. And it's very clear on what we can do and what we can't do. And it all came out of the Church Committee hearing to make sure we had restrictions on the way we could operate so that we would not have any other questions of the possibility of the kinds of things that were going on that led into Watergate.
Is what you're saying in a way, because I'm trying to just interpret the words, are you basically saying, look, we're in a position where we're insecure, we've got problems with security, because we have to play by rules that other people don't have to play by, other countries don't have to play by?
Well, we actually think these rules worked for us. They struck a balance. They helped us preserve the law of the land and at the same time protect America. But on 9/11, they did not work. Mm-hmm. And they didn't work because we simply ran out of time. Keep in mind that many of the things that were going on right prior to 9/11 were preceded by the attack on the USS Cole in Aden Harbor in Yemen in October of 2000. We had the embassy bombings in the summer of 1999. We knew what al-Qaeda was doing. We knew where they were operating. In fact, we had indicted a number of al-Qaeda members, including bin Laden, as a result of the embassy bombings. But none of that mattered politically in the sense that we were almost, jumping through hoops to stop the next attack. And at the same time, political policies were not catching up and making sure that we were getting the world behind us to deal with these problems.
But as memory serves me, you had about 3 weeks of this era of good feeling between Democrats and Republicans after 9/11, right. And then they split off in different directions. So was one side right and one side wrong?
Well, the real issue, the bottom line practical issue on FISA was that it made it impossible for people who got intelligence information to share it with people who were working criminal cases. And so the political, so since as Terry said, since that hadn't worked, since that had put too many obstacles as far as politicians were concerned, after 9/11, they had to blame somebody. They're going to blame the FBI for not communicating and not connecting the dots of a system that they themselves had set up. So it was essentially the blame game had to go away from politicians and towards the FBI and the CIA. Politicians could not be held accountable for the bad decisions that they had been making for